Hello, Professor. My name is Rohman SK Wasikur. My ID is 20243940. So, as you ask for assigned us for project or recovery assignment to make a video based on those topics you have provided into the group chat. So in such cases, I choose the logical fallacies speech. The title is the logical fallacies. What they are and why they matter actually. So I am gonna pretend it like I am representing in front of the audience or in front of my class. So I'm gonna start from here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Today, we are going to explore a powerful topic that directly affects what we think, how we communicate, and how we understand the world around us. It's a logical fallacies. Whether you are debating politics, reading news articles, talking with friends, or watching commercials, logical fallacies are present in stubble and not stubble ways. They shape how the people argue, how the people pursued, and unfortunately, how people deceive. But let's start with the basic definition. So, a logical fallacy is an error reasoning. It is when the logic used to make an argument is flawed. Even if the conclusion may or not be true, think of it's like a math, like a equation with the right answer but wrong steps, or more worse, anything could be happen. A completely wrong answer that feels convincing because it is sounds clever or emotional. So, why we should care? Because the logical fallacies undermine truth. They can be used to manipulate, distract, and mislead. They can speak into our own thinking and tricks us into believing something false or rejoicing or rejecting, which is something true. Understanding them is like developing a mental immune system. It doesn't make you arrogant or cynical. It makes you clear eyed and mentally resilient. So, in my speech, I'm gonna cover mm, it's 1 to 7 points, which now I will allocate one by one. So the first one, what logic fallacies are and why they matter. How the fallacies happen and why they are so common. The difference between formal and informal fallacies. And the number 4 is 20 of the most common logical fallacies explained with clear examples, and how to spot fallacies in everyday life. And number 6 is how to respond to them respectfully and effectively, which is very important. And finally, how to avoid using fallacies yourself and become a sharp thinker. So, friends, let's begin this journey and my speech. So, why fallacies happen? Let's be honest. Most of the people don't walk around trying to make logically a perfect argument. We are emotional creatures, so we rely on institution, experience, and instinct more often than slow, structured reasoning. That's natural. It's a parts of being human, right? Fallacies happen for several reasons. According to my research, cognitive shortcuts is one of them. Our brains take mental shortcuts called heuristics. It's a heuristics. To save time, sometimes those shortcuts lead to many types of error. Another one is a very common and well known is emotion. When we feel fear, anger, love, or pride, we often defend what we feel, not what makes sense actually. So another is a very very similar one, which is called group influences. So I can give you a very good example based on this group influences. Like recently in my country, it's now I'm from Bangladesh. So in my country, last year 2024 at 5 August, we face a major issue with our government. Like the problem became there was a movement for the people who don't want quota. So the quota was actually removed at 2018, but the High Court rules it like it is still running the quota. So High Court says yeah, it can be done for the freedom fighters, but as Bangladesh has a lot densely people area, so there are too much people compared to South Korea in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is bigger than South Korea and also bigger than in number of humans or peoples. It's like 20 crore people living in Bangladesh with official data. Unofficially, it could be 22. I will be not surprised. So, in that much amount of people, if a country is a similar size or a little bit better than South Korea, it's you can understand it's a very highly dense area. So there is always competition on its peak. Like you cannot think anything very much fairly, easily, only just because of the competition. Like in Korea, maybe you can do business, but in Bangladesh, you can also do business, but you have to gain some extraordinary talents like managing people and a good relationship, etc., etc., which is not needed to basically not needed to maintain a business or your job. In case of job, it's also same. You may be joined for a work job which you have done perfectly, but it doesn't even matter until and unless you have a good relationship with everyone. So this is not the problem of a Bangladesh government. This is the problem of Bangladeshi people and their mindsets. And I also cannot blame overall all of them, cause the situation is a very competitive. So In such cases, people are just have to do this. They have no other options. Like they need to lead their life, right? Everyone is surviving with their best, trying with their best. So at 2024 5th August, it happens like it's a political issue which actually backed by United States of America. So America wants army base or military base in Bangladesh, which can be hamper our freedom of rights, freedom of thinking, freedom of activity, freedom of choice. This bullshit country always just want to try dominate the weaker systems. But our Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, she is the daughter of the nation's father named Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and she said that I don't need the power if I have to serve my part of a country. If I don't have the power because of that, I don't have any issue. But America intends to whatever they want to do, so they they just pushed $29 billion to make this worst situation. This they threw that money through NGO link, which NGO there are only two people are working. Only just two people are working, and they get a $29 billion donation from America. Isn't it surprising? It is totally clear now what is happening, and nowadays it is getting more clear that what is gonna be happen with Bangladesh in future, and the recent so-called government, which we don't believe he is a government, but he is acting like a government, cause our people, most of the people are too much emotional, which is connected with this phylacteries, emotions too much as a Bangladeshi people. So they just believe whatever they sees. If you show them that Iran is killing everyone in Palestine, they in just an in an acceptable way, they would just believe. They don't have their own judgment. They only believe what they see. So it is the people of Bangladesh is not that much intellectual, so that they can take their own judgment and make an own judgment. They have their emotions and everything else. So the politics are also based on the people's emotion, which is kind of fair, I maybe, cause ultimately it totally depends how your country people wants, right? So the whatever the people wants, we have to serve, and our government has served a lot better than last 20 years, and except than other governments, usually they came and go through election, but she was the president, she was the prime minister since last 15 years, and the revelation was huge and huge. So America first tried to make some sanctions on us, so that our government cannot handle the expenses more and more, and America explodes the taxes rate, and also we intend to make a mega project which is called Podda Setu, Podda Bridge actually. So this is not just a regular or usual bridge. So making this bridge, we had to pile in the middle of the river. So the river is has too much current. So for digging inside, like piling inside, we have to order the world's biggest biggest piling machine from Germany. We have to order that. So you can understand that how much gonna cost this mega project. It's like too much. So based on the mega projects, most of the mega projects are based on the World Bank money supports. So when America sees that some of his loving people has taken away from them, so they stop the money from the World Bank, and but whatever else happened, our prime minister didn't stop, and she somehow managed to make this. So America feels here again. So now they became with the Super Pro plan, which is called Mediculous plan. So they came with this plan, and they're actually success because of they plan to kill prime minister with the Mango people, so that they do not have to get any issues. Like if Mango people do something in Bangladesh, this is they are gonna forgive everyone. So they want to do kill Sheikh Hasina by Mango people, so that there is no judicials, and there is no judgments on this. It's just a public sentiment. So they want to use this card. So our prime minister have to save their life, and he just take the protocol, and now staying in India and controlling their team. And American loving government, Dr. Yunus, he is on the in power right now. So maybe this is a like a so the point was like that group influence. So here the group influence is that a large number of people was influenced to came out from home into the road, so that the police and the whole security system breaks down, because the country has lots of people, and there is not enough police to tackle all of those people. Police is a certain amount to control in a certain manner, but it is just if there is outbreak, they cannot handle this. So in such cases, they have to leave. The prime minister have to leave. So now the United States wants to remove our constitutions. It wants to remove everything from Bangladesh. It just want to make a new law for Bangladesh, which is so-called supportive for USA, and they will make a military base, and they also want to share our land with Myanmar. I don't know. I never seen that much cruelty in another country than US and Israel. Maybe it's my personal opinion. Please don't get offended. But in case of my country, I can say that I believe that. So, okay, I'm skipping this part right now. So, the next topic is the lack of education in logic, which I have already talked in the example about when I was saying about Bangladesh, that our people is not intellectual. So schools really teach students how to recognize bad reasonings. As a result, even well-educated people can fall for fallacies. And another one is a perceived power. So some fallacies like emotional appeals or ad hominem attacks are highly perceived. Even if they're wrong, they feel satisfying, like rhetoric fast food. Fallacies are just not mistakes, they are rhetorical weapon. Knowing how they work helps us protect ourselves from manipulation and became more honest thinkings. And there is a formal versus informal fallacies. Logical fallacies can be categorized broadly into two types: formal and informal. So formal fallacies are errors in the structure or from of the argument. It is like using bad math. Even if your assumptions are true, your conclusion might be invalid because your reasoning doesn't follow. All birds can fly. Penguins are bird, therefore penguins can fly. So this is a formally fallacy. The form is flawed. Informal fallacies are errors in content. They may rely on misleading language, irrelevant information, or emotional manipulation. Most of the fallacies we will discuss today are informal. So, example. So, what can we give as example is how can you say smoking is bad? Isn't it concerning? My grandfather smoked and lived to 97. It's amazing. This isn't a structural flaw, it's a misuse of uneducated evidence. Now let's explore the most common logic fallacies. The common logic fallacy is ad hominem, attack on person. So ad hominem, instead of addressing the argument, you attack the person making it. So which also a very big problem with our generation, which is known as Gen Z. This generation now, I feel that the people nowadays, they are not really willing to accept their guilts or their what they cannot do. Instead of that, they just establish another logic so that they can cover up their self, not personally in front of everyone. You can't trust his opinion on educational reform. He dropped out of college. That was an example. So another one is a straw man, misrepresenting someone's argument to make it easier to attack. Like if I give you an example, she wants to regulate gun ownership. She must want to take away all our guns. So this is Tallman. And another one is the appeal to ignorance, arguing something is true just because it hasn't been proven false. Um, no one has proven aliens doesn't exist, so they must be real. So you catch the point. No one has proven aliens doesn't exist, so they must be real. So anything which is not proven is always not supposed to be real or fake. And false dilemma is also another one, black and white fallacy, presenting only two options when there are more existing. Like you either support the war or you hate the country. So you are making no options but rather than these two, either die or neither your country. So suggesting slippery slope, suggesting that one action will be lead to a dramatic chain of events. Example, if we allow same-sex marriage, soon people will be marrying their pets. I was not ready for that. Okay. The circular reasoning using the conclusion as one of the premises. In case of example, God exists because the Bible says so. The Bible is true because God wrote it. And this is a circular reasoning. And hasty generalization, making a bold claim based on a small sample. In case of example, I got food poisoning from the restaurant once. So it must be a terrible place that we came into a judgment by only just a one mistake. This is a hazy generalization. And a red herring, distracting from the real issue with an unrelated topic. Why worry about climate change when there's still poverty in the world? So, Professor, you can see that red herring is also very concerning in Bangladesh. This type of talkings I can hear usually in Bangladesh when I go to a tea stall. You know, Bangladesh very popular for tea stall everywhere you can find and make some gossip in a low price of money. So whenever you can go there, you will meet the pure mango peoples, those who work for the country, working for somewhere, very doing hard work, labor, not the white collar jobs, blue collar jobs, or the laborers always come there. But it is an enjoying place. So there you can hear that this type of talkings that they say the poverty is there, so you don't need to though, you don't have to time to think about the ecosystem. And appeal to authority using someone's status or position as evidence even if they are not an expert. So if I give an example, a celebrity said this supplement works, so it must be effective. So that like someone who is too much popular, you think he might not be false, you're just trusting his words. It is called appeal to authority. And the bandwagon fallacy, claiming something is true or good because everyone believes it. In case of millions of people believe in astrology, so it must be real, which I don't believe personally, but many of them believe on that, and many of them already things have their religion based on this. So religion is a sensitive issue. I'm gonna ignore this, but in such cases, this is a bandwagon fallacy. The post hoc false clause, assuming that because of someone claim after another one, the someone will be accused by another one. If the someone is B and accused one is A, they will be claim each other. The example is like the roasted crowed, then the sun rose. Therefore, the roasters caused the sun to rise. And there is another example like appeal to emotion, manipulating feelings instead of presenting logical arguments. Like, imagine how sad your grandmother would be if you voted for that candidate. Appeal to emotion. And two QE, U2 fallacy, dismissing criticism by pointing our hypocrisy. This is also very, very alarming one. I personally use this. Just an example, employees are like nails, just like nails need to be hit to work, so do employees. So this is one of the thing, and another one is also like Anecdotal fallacy, using personal experience instead of sound arguments. Like my uncle didn't wear a seatbelt and he survived a crash, so seatbelts aren't necessary. So that doesn't make any sense. Each perspective of accidents depends. The composition fallacy, assuming that what's true for parts is true for the whole. In example, each player on the term is a star, so the team must be unbeatable. Division fallacy, assuming what's true of the whole is true of the parts. In example, like this cake is delicious, therefore each ingredient must be delicious. And loaded questions, asking questions that assumes something unproven, like why are you so bad at handling money? So it is not true. And another one is no true Scotsman. The repenting appearance of evidence to protect a universal claim. No true Christians who will ever lie. What about this Christian who lied? Well, they weren't true Christians. Middle ground fallacies, assuming that the truth is always a compromise between two extremes. An example, one person say the earth is flat and others say it's round, so maybe it's oval. They just combined it. So, how to spot fallacies? Spotting fallacies take practice. Here I can say some tips like ask does the conclusion follow from the premises, and watch for the emotional manipulation, look for the sweeping generalization of personal attacks, and pay attention to the distractions of the main issues. And also ask is this is an argument relying on actual evidence, is this attacking to the argument on or the person, or is it is trying to make me feel something instead of think. So when something feels convincing too quickly, check whether it's due to a fallacy. Make sure that. How to respond to fallacy? So first you have to identify the fallacy, stay calm and respectful, focus on the argument, not the person, ask a clarifying question, are you saying that or this, or can you explain how that leads to your conclusion? As an example, you can say that sounds like a false dilemma. Are there really only two options? The goal is to bring the conversation back to logic, not to win. Mm, how to avoid using fallacies? So in such cases, we all make logical mistakes. Even smart, educated people, the key is to develop the habit of reflective thinking. Don't argue while emotional. Ask yourself, is this is supported by evidence? Avoid exaggeration and sweeping statement. Be humble. It is okay to say I'm not sure. The more you practice clear thinking, the more natural it is become. So let's recap it again. All of these, the logical fallacies are flawed arguments that seem perceives but lack sound reasoning. They are everywhere in the media, politics, advertising, and daily conversation. So as you see, I have already give you my real life experience based on Bangladeshi politics. It is also a concern about this. By learning to identify them, you become a more powerful thinker and communicator. You can communicate with many higher strength, with full of confidence and control on your speaking. Fallacies aren't just about others, they also have us to catch our own blind spots. Always aim to truth and ask questions, think slowly, listen carefully. That will help you to get out from the fallacies. Thank you for watching and listening me. Stay curious, stay critical, and keep sharpening your mind. So, by this topic ending here, thank you so much. So, after that, I'm gonna talk about the structure of an essay with the easy examples and explanations. So, thank you so much for being here. So in this talk, we are going to talk about or learn something very useful and important: how to write a good essay. An essay is just a piece of writing that explains an idea or give an opinion. So we see essay in schools, in exam, in newspaper, and even online. Knowing how to write a good essay helps us better thinking, write clearly, and share our ideas in a strong and smart way. So, today we will talk about three main things: how essays are structured. So, it's very important how to read and understand a good essay, like some simple and clear examples of good essays. So let's get started. So first, the basic structure of an essay. It's a very important one. Like think of an essay like a sandwich. You have a top slice of bread with the fillings and the bottom's slice of bread. So the top side of bread is actually the introduction, the fillings is the body paragraphs, and bottom side of the bread is the conclusion. All three parts are very important. So in the case of introduction, this is the first paragraph. It does three things. It grabs attention, starts with the questions, or facts, or interesting sentences, and gives a background, like a little bit of information about the topic, and gives you opinion or points. This is called thesis statement, actually. So if I give an example, like many people think social media is a fun and useful, but social media can also make people feel so sad and stressed, especially teenagers. Uh, if I share my personal experience about this based on this example, I was never so much connected with Facebook, or if I see something, I just, oh, okay, that's not correct. But when something is really wrong happen with you, or majority, a vast amount of people is connected and a victim like you, and a certain or also a majority people are making mocking at you or attacking, personal attack, and these are called the fallacies. So if things are just happening in Facebook that you cannot say to them personally, it's open field. People are making Structural discussion, non-structural discussion, abusing, etc., etc. Even though it's not about yourself, but maybe somewhat you are too much believe or connected with these points. So this is very important. Then I understand that it can hamper my mental stress. Maybe I just ignore it, but in my subconscious mind, I have the angers, I have the pains that will be released some days or sometime whenever I get a chance to release. So this is how it things just can encourage you in social media. So that's all. And if we talk about the body paragraph, these are the middle parts of your essay. Usually you write 2 or 4 paragraphs. Each paragraph should be starts with a clear topic. Say just what the paragraph is about, give examples or facts, explain how to expel example supports your opinion. Like one reason social media can be stressful is because people always compare themselves to others, which I have already said and already did myself in the last examples. So this is fantastic example. When someone sees perfect photos online, they may feel that their life is not good enough. Um, which might be true for some people in some cases, or otherwise just it will just feel you make you low feelings. So, and if I talk about the conclusion, the last paragraph should be like say your main idea, again using different words, summarize the most important points, and end with the final thought of suggestions. So in example, we can use in short, while social media has benefit, it can also cause the stress of sadness. It's important for the users to take breaks and remember that what they see online is not always real, which is which is really true. So, if I talk about how to read and understand an essay, reading other people's essay helps us becoming better writers. Here's how to do it. First, you have to look at the structure. Can you find the introduction, body, and the conclusion? Is the thesis statement is clear? And another one is the find the main idea. What is the writer trying to say? Is it an essay to understand? Look at the look at the flow. That do the ideas move so smoothly from one to another? Are they good examples? Check the tone and style. Is the writing formal or informal? It is the writer serious or funny or emotional? And after that, we can talk about some examples of good essays. Let's take a look at some short essays and talk about what makes them good. So, the first one, opening an essay. So, the topic we choose is should the school starts later in day? So many students feel tired in the morning and find it hard to learn. Students should start later in the day. So if schools begins at 9:30 instead of 8, students can sleep more and feel fresh. Studies shows that teenagers need more sleep to focus well. Starting school later can help students do better in class and feel healthier. So why it is good? Why this says is good, or the opinion is good? Cause the clear opinion is the thesis, the good reasons and facts, simple and easy to follow. The second one is a story essay, and the topic is a time I learned something important. So last year I forgot my lines in the school play. I stood on stage, my mouth open, but no words came out. I felt embarrassed and wanted to cry. But I took a deep breath and I remember one line. Then the rest followed. That moment taught me not to give up and to stay calm when I am nervous. Now I feel more confident in front of people. So why this is good? So here it's a real story, shows emotions and learning, and the language is simple. No matter how much complex you make, sometimes it may helps you, but a basic structure is very important for the essay. So if your language is simple and connected to each other, you're using connectors, sentence linkers, and passive sentences. That's also fine, but must have to make some links between all of this. What is a descriptional essay is, as an example, my favorite place. The library is my favorite place. It is quiet and peaceful. I love the smells of books and sounds of pages turning, so that I can see it by the window, read, and forget my worries. To me, library is a magical world where I can learn anything. So there is a strong details, easy to imagine, and clear topics are visible. So in case of descriptive essay, these are also very important points. And there are some common mistakes to avoid that. No clear topic always have a main idea. Too many idea is in one paragraph. Keep it simple. Not using examples like always supports your point, and jumping around like use transitions like first, also, or in conclusions. A bad grammar, use a spell check and read your writing out loud, so it will help you to find out the grammatical and spelling errors. So in the conclusion part, I can say a good essay has three parts. Like now that we have talked about essay writing in simple words and with real examples, let's take a big picture view of what this all means. Writing an essay may seem hard at first, but it becomes much easier once you know the steps. Think of it like building a house. First, you lay the foundation with your introduction, then you build up the walls with your body paragraphs. And finally, you put on the roof with a strong conclusion that ties everything together. Okay, so a good essay starts with a clear idea. This is your thesis. It tells you, reader, what should help explain or support this idea. That's what gives you essay focus and strength. We also learned that reading other people's essay can help us. It teaches us how writers express their thoughts, how they use examples, and how they move smoothly from one idea to another. Every time you read a good essay, you learn something new: how to begin, how to explain, and how to end. I remember the examples we looked at today. Each essay had its own voice, but all of them had structure, clear ideas, strong endings. Whether it was a story about learning on stage, or description of a quiet library, they were simple, honest, and clear. That's a kind of writing that stays with the reader. As you begin to write your own essay, don't be afraid of making mistakes. Every writer improves by practicing. So the more you write, the better you get, and the more you read, and the more your ideas and styles you discover. So here's what I want to take away from today. Your thoughts are valuable. Share them with confidence. Structure is your friend, so use it. Stay organized and clear. Good writing is simple, honest, and supported by examples. So, writing is a superpower. It lets you explain, pursue, tell stories, and even change the minds. So, use the power, whether you're writing for your school, a job, or just to share an idea. You now have the tools to write strong, clear, and a meaningful essay. So thank you so much for being here today. I hope this talk helps you write better and feel more confident. Keep reading, keep writing, and always believe that your words can make a difference.